What's up, guys? We got some huge announcements by Dana White. He just dropped some bombshells for UFC 320 and UFC 321. In the UFC 320 main event, Magomed Ankalaev, the newly crowned light heavyweight champion, will face off in a rematch versus Alex Pereira. We knew this match would happen, or rematch would happen. We just didn't know when. In the co-main event, Dvalishvili will defend his title against Corey Sandhagen, and we already know what's going to happen in that fight. And in the feature fight, Rountree will face Yuri Prochazka, and what we can only assume is a #1 contenders fight. And man, UFC 320 is already looking extremely stacked. And last but not least, Tom Aspinall, after over a year out of the cage, will make his grand awaited return at UFC 321 in October against none other than the French soy boy, Cyril Gane. So that are some massive fights. And I want to break them down and give my prediction for all these fights. Let's start off with that main event of UFC 320, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, the rematch. Now, I think that Alex Pereira's best chance to beat Magomed Ankalaev was the first time around. I'm going to be honest. I know there's talks that he was injured, he was sick in the first fight, and that's why he kind of didn't look like himself. But let's not forget, man, Magomed Ankalaev has better boxing than Alex Pereira. Let's just call it what it is. He just does. Alex Pereira, a lot of professional kickboxers always lack in the boxing department. And we kind of saw that in the fight. Magomed Ankalaev outboxed him, whereas Alex Pereira low-key outgrappled him. It was very weird because he hip tossed him in the second round. But Alex Pereira is going to be 38 years old, right? He's not on a long layoff, but he will have taken like 6 months off, which is more time than he's used to taking off. And Ankalaev has been taunting Alex Pereira on Twitter, whether it be him or Ali Abdullah Sleaze. But yeah, he's been taunting him, saying he doesn't want the rematch and that he got the money and famous and he just wants to go back to the tire shop drinking alcohol. Just taunting him over and over and over and just saying, take the rematch. And you know what? Maybe Alex Pereira will fight better the second time around, but I don't know, man. When do we see guys at 38 years old beat a prime Russian fighter? It just doesn't happen. We've seen it a million times. The Dagestani versus the Brazilian. The Dagestani wins every time, man. It's just so cruel. We can never have the Charles Oliveira's of the world choking out Islam Makhachev. It just doesn't happen. We're not going to have the Alex Pereiras of the world knocking out Ankalaev. I just don't see it happening. He's going to be 6 months older, 38 now. He's had a long, extensive career in kickboxing and now the UFC. And yeah, man, how bad does Alex Pereira want to beat Ankalaev is the real truth. I mean, we know Alex Pereira is a competitor. He recently showed off his weight. He's 247 pounds, so he's going to have a bit of weight to shed by the time the fight comes around. But obviously, nonetheless, we're all excited for this rematch. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, the main event. And I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev by decision again. I think Alex Pereira can last to a decision. And maybe we'll see Ankalaev get some takedowns this time, because I could see a world where Alex Pereira is not as worried about the takedowns. He might kind of let his guard down and be like, look, this guy couldn't take me down at all the first time around, so I'm not going to care about the takedowns. I'm just going to go in there and strike with this guy. And maybe Ankalaev will surprise him with some takedowns, because this time around he's not going to be worried about it, where it seemed like the first fight they had, that's all Alex Pereira was worried about was the takedowns. Is he going to take me down? Is he going to take me down? Where Ankalaev was able to say, hold up, this guy's so worried about the takedowns, I'm just going to outstrike him. And that's ultimately what happened. He won 3 rounds to 2. It was a very close fight, but I just see Alex Pereira as older, maybe a little bit slower than he was last time around. Maybe he's taking a little bit more damage. I don't know. Maybe if he comes in healthy, he can KO Ankalaev. I don't know. If I could choose the winner of this fight, obviously I'm rooting for Alex Pereira. I don't care about Ankalaev as champ. He's boring. He has no personality. He's not an exciting fighter. I'm not going to pretend like he is. So if you have a problem with me disliking Ankalaev as a fighter, drop it in the comments, because I really don't care. I'm not going to pretend to be entertained. His fights just genuinely aren't entertaining. His fight versus Rakic wasn't great. His fight versus Pereira wasn't great. His fight versus a lot of guys in the UFC, they're just mid, man. And he has no personality. Like, he's just boring. So at least Islam Makhachev is funny. You know, unintentionally, he's funny. Ankalaev's just an NPC, dude, and he's inbred. Either way, I'm taking Magomed Ankalaev to win that fight by decision. In the co-main event, I cannot believe how stacked this card's going to be. UFC 320. The co-main event, we have Dvalishvili returning to defend his title against Corey Sandhagen. And right away, guys, let's just call it what it is. Corey Sandhagen doesn't even have a puncher's chance in this fight. He has what I'm going to call a flying knee chance. That's literally Corey Sandhagen's only way to beat Merab. And the reason I say he doesn't have a puncher's chance, because Corey Sandhagen doesn't have power in his hands. This guy's been throwing pillows left and right in his entire career. Who have we seen Corey Sandhagen knock down with his hands? Really nobody. All the guys that he's knocked down or dropped have been kicks against, who was it? Marlon Moraes, he got a will kick. And then against Frankie Edgar, he got a flying knee KO. But outside of that, man, this guy really doesn't drop anybody. He has decent ground and pound, a TKO versus Davison Figueiredo after he injured him on the ground. But listen, man, Corey Sandhagen has a flying knee chance. This guy better throw some flying knees because otherwise he's just going to get out-muscled, out-grappled, and out-cardioed by Merab like everybody else does. This is a free title defense for Merab to build his legacy even more. Another top 5 guy in his division. And if he beats Sandhagen, Merab's officially cleared out the top 5. He has 2 wins over O'Malley, a win over Umar, a win over Sandhagen at that point. And, I mean, who else would there be? You know, he's literally beat everybody. A win over Cejudo, a win over Aldo. I mean, you could throw Song Yadong in there if he gets a win, but it's like Figueiredo's coming off a loss. Who are you going to put against there? Marlon Chito Vera, who's coming off a loss. 2 losses, I believe. Dude, Merab is kind of like Pantoja. He's becoming a victim of his own success. And you know what? Speaking of Pantoja, if Merab does defend against Sandhagen, which he should and he will, I would not mind seeing Pantoja versus Merab. Give Pantoja the super fight. He deserves it. And as for Merab, it's fresh blood. You know, champ versus champ matchup. The UFC typically doesn't like to let the flyweight champ move up because they don't find that the flyweights sell. They didn't want to do it whenever Demetrius Johnson demanded $1 million. I imagine Pantoja's going to want to get a payday if he moves up for a super fight. But that would be a fun fight because, like I said, man, after that at bantamweight, I mean, who are we going to pull Vinicius Oliveira for a title shot? Are we going to do the Umar rematch with no win since he lost to him? They did it for O'Malley. Dana White seems to love Umar Nurmagomedov. He always mentions him rematching Merab. So I think Umar needs to get a win before he gets another title shot. Let's not forget his only win in the top 10 is Corey Sandhagen, who's now fighting for the belt. Fair enough, but it's like, Merab is cooking his division whenever I'm already talking about what's his next fight going to be, because we already know what's going to happen to Sandhagen, man. He's going to get bullied in there. He's going to get destroyed. It's not going to be competitive. Corey Sandhagen has a flying knee chance, and he better hope and pray that that flying knee lands, because otherwise it's going to be Merab landing 28 takedowns out of 56 on him, just wearing him out, and Corey Sandhagen's going to look like he saw a ghost by round 4, and then it's just going to be rinse and repeat. I think Merab Dvalishvili is going to 49-46 Corey. I can see Corey still in 1 round and Merab just smoking him the rest of the fight. And listen, man, who knows? Merab might even latch up a submission. You guys know I have notoriously picked against Merab in every single fight, in the Umar fight, in the O'Malley fight, the first one, and the rematch. I'm not picking against him anymore. I'm going to admit my wrongs as a man, as a predictor of the sport, and I'm going to say, you know what? Merab's proved me wrong time and time again. I can't go against him. I think he's going to absolutely steamroll and bully Corey Sandhagen to get his 3rd title defense, and this guy is just building an insane resume. I think with a win over Corey Sandhagen, I mean, he should be in most people's top 5 at that point of best fighters of all time. The resume, the dominance, who he's beating, the quality of competition, it's insane. So, yeah, Merab Dvalishvili, I think, will dominate Corey Sandhagen 50-45 or 49-46. And in the feature fight, we got Yuri Prochazka returning from his college degree to face off with Khalil Rountree, who just came off of a dominant win over Jamal Hill. Khalil Rountree having a pretty quick turnaround. He didn't take much damage in the Jamal fight. You guys know I love active fighters. I hate whenever fighters sit around for an entire year. Let's not forget Khalil Rountree's 35 years old, so he needs to put his foot on the gas, and he is. He's fighting another fighter. He fought Alex Pereira, and then he just fought Jamal Hill. Now he's fighting Yuri Prochazka, and listen, man, I don't like this matchup for Khalil. Sure, he looked good against Jamal Hill, but Khalil Rountree, bro, this is Yuri Prochazka, bro. This is the sworn samurai from Czech Republic, and I think Yuri Prochazka is going to knock out Khalil Rountree. I just do, man. Listen, I know he was Mr. Technical against Jamal Hill, but let's be real. Jamal Hill has super glue on the bottom of his feet. This guy has some of the worst footwork of any top 5 fighter in UFC history. Whereas Yuri Prochazka, he's got this newfound head movement in his career. This dude was looking like prime Muhammad Ali out there against Yuri Prochazka. I mean against Jamal Hill. Like, he was looking like he was sticking and moving. It's funny that both these guys are coming off of wins of Jamal Hill and now they're fighting each other. But yeah, I think Yuri Prochazka is going to smoke Khalil Rountree by 2nd or 3rd round TKO. And then he's going to stamp his way to a title shot against Ankalaev. Because let's be real, the UFC is not going to reward Carlos Alberg for having a lackluster performance against Jan Blachowicz, who was off for 2 years. Carlos Alberg goes out there and taps little pussy leg kicks at him and wins a decision. They're not going to reward that. I understand Alberg's on an 8-fight win streak, but Yuri Prochazka versus Ankalaev is a way more exciting fight. Or Yuri versus Pereira 3. Why not? Run it. We love that fight. There's so much aura when they're both in the cage. But either way, let's call it what it is, man. Khalil Rountree, I don't care if he just smoked Jamal Hill. Yuri Prochazka is leaps and bounds ahead of Jamal Hill. He's got better striking. He's got better footwork. He's got better knockout power. He's got even better ground game. This guy submitted Glover. People forget, man. And people like to underestimate Yuri because he got smoked by Pereira twice. But let's not forget, this guy has only lost to Alex Pereira in the last decade. He has no other losses. He smoked everybody else in the UFC. He's finished every single fight in his UFC career that he's won. And he's either been finished or he's finished. He's not fought to a decision a single time. And I don't think that's going to change. He's going to go out there. He's going to get hit a couple times against Khalil, but let's be real. Khalil's not this one-punch knockout artist. Yuri's got an insane chin. He's going to be able to survive. And once he's going to put Khalil through the fire, and Khalil's going to see what he saw in the Pereira fight in round 4. He's going to start to get overtaken, overwhelmed, and then boom, Yuri Prochazka is going to hit him with that samurai knee up the middle and put him out cold. I'm not sure if it's going to be a knee, but I do think that Yuri Prochazka will finish Khalil Rountree inside of 3 rounds. That's my prediction. UFC 320, those 3 fights are absolutely stacked. And last but not least, Thomas Aspinall is returning against Cyril Gane. That's right, the most privileged French fighter in UFC history, him and BSD. This is Cyril Gane's 3rd undisputed title shot. He fought for the title against Ngannou. Then he fought for a vacant title against Jones. And now he's fighting for the title against Aspinall. I mean, the UFC really, really wants a French champion because otherwise they would have gave it to Jelton Almeida. But nonetheless, we get to see Cyril Gane fight for an undisputed title for a 3rd time. And I don't think it's going to change, man. He's going to be the next fighter to go 0-3 in title fights because Tom Aspinall is leaps and bounds ahead of Cyril Gane. The only thing Cyril Gane has against Tom Aspinall is maybe kickboxing. Tom Aspinall has the better boxing. He has more power. He has better wrestling. He has better grappling. He has better jiu-jitsu. He's literally better everywhere outside of the kickboxing. And what is Cyril Gane going to do? Tire Tom Aspinall out over 5 rounds? No, dude. Tom Aspinall is going to march across the cage. He's going to spear freaking Cyril Gane into the audience, and he's going to Kimura him in the crowd in front of Donald Trump. That's what's going to happen. All jokes aside, I do think Tom Aspinall is going to steamroll Cyril Gane, and I'm so happy, man, because I am not a fan of Cyril Gane. This is another guy who's privileged. He's entitled. He always thinks one win and he gets a title shot, and his last win wasn't even a real win. He robbed Alexander Volkov, and we already know that these guys love to sit around and cry about title shots and get rewarded like Cyril Gane. He's done it his entire career. He's fought for this is crazy. He's fought for an interim title against Derek Lewis, and he's had 3 undisputed title shots once he fights Aspinall. That is actually insane because this guy doesn't even have that many MMA fights. Cyril Gane is the Kobe Covington of the welterweight division. That's just what it is, man. And yeah, I'm actually happy that he's fighting Tom Aspinall because I need to see Cyril Gane out cold before his career ends. I need to see it. That way he can pay for all the time he took off worried about FIFA. This guy not taking his career seriously, he's going to learn that when you fight Tom Aspinall and you don't take your career seriously, you're going to get sent to the shadow realm. And I love it because Tom Aspinall is not going to let him off the hook easy like John Jones did and get a guillotine. No, Tom Aspinall's going to land a 1-2 down the pipe, except the difference is he's not tied to Ivasa. He's going to crack him on his chin, and he's going to go out. And Tom Aspinall is going to start his reign. And that's going to be his 2nd title defense because guess what? We're counting that interim title defense as an actual title defense. And Tom Aspinall is going to reign over this heavyweight division. And he's going to show John Jones how it's done. He's going to show him how to properly defend a title and properly be an active fighter and show him how it's done to be a skilled fighter. And that's my predictions for all the fights. I think that Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight we've ever seen. He's the fastest. He's the most technical. He's the most dangerous man in honestly in human history. I mean, who can beat Tom Aspinall in a hand-to-hand combat fight? Maybe Francis Ngannou. He's got a puncher's chance, but even then, I think Aspinall would wash Ngannou. So, yeah, I think that's my prediction for the fights. UFC 320 is absolutely stacked. We don't have anything else on 321 outside of Aspinall versus Gane. I think that fight's going down in Abu Dhabi. But ultimately, guys, I just want to come on here and react to this news. Dana White, Dana Pink, the bald head guy of the UFC, finally cooks, finally gives us some good fights. And let's hope this is a good thing to come. Maybe they're closing in on a Netflix deal, and this is why we're getting these huge fights. I sure hope so. I hope the UFC goes away from the pay-per-view model. I think it's a bit outdated. It's time to move on. Give the fans free fights because we deserve it. Because we spend our entire lives slaving for this sport. And now we deserve the UFC to kiss our ass for once. But let me know what you guys think in the comments of this fight. Who do you have winning? And yeah, that's about it for today. I'm out, guys. Peace.
Shit in bus.
He comes with 40 people.
Shit in bus.
Anything.
You took a shit on the back of a bus. Can I have a shit on the bus?
But